Good afternoon, everybody. This is the Planning and Zoning Commission of the City of Socorro, Texas. It is 5:31 p.m., December 17th, 2024. We call this meeting to order.
Good afternoon. Item number 2, establishment of quorum. Andrew Arroyos,
Here.
Enrique Cisneros, absent. David Estrada,
Present.
Julie Dominguez,
Here.
Osvaldo Reza, absent. Yolanda Rodriguez.
Here.
We have a quorum with 4 commissioners present. Item number 3, open forum. Alfredo, do we have anyone that would like to speak?
Not at the moment.
Thank you. Item number 4, consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion.
I second.
I have a motion made by Andrew Arroyo, second by Yolanda Rodriguez, to approve. All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Any nays? Any abstain?
Abstain.
Motion carried. Item number 5, consider and take action on the approval of the preliminary and final plat for Revive Community Church Subdivision, being track 4D5A, 4D5A1, 4D5B, and 4D5B1, Block 3, Socorro Grant, located at 10720 West Burke Road, Socorro, Texas. Mr. Botella?
Good evening, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. Jose Botello, planner with the City of Socorro. Item number 5 on the agenda is the Revive Community Church Subdivision Preliminary and Final Plat. Some general information on this preliminary and final plat. The property owners are Revive Community Church. The representative is Reverend Jose Medina of Revive Community Church. The lot size is 3.00 acres. The zoning on this property is RE, which is rural estate, along with a conditional use permit for a church, and A1, which is agricultural, and the current land use is for religious assembly and residential. And the summary of the request is for approval of a preliminary and final plat for Revive Community Church subdivision, and staff recommends approval of the preliminary and final plat for Revive Community Church subdivision with the condition that the engineering review comments are met.
And I'm sorry, just for the record, Mr. Cisneros did join us at 5:32. Thank you.
On the next slide, you'll see for the location map, the property is situated along Sparks and Burt Road, followed by the slide showing the zoning on the zoning for the property previously mentioned, which is our rural estate with a conditional use permit to allow for the church, and the green, which is our agricultural zoning district. And then on this slide, you'll see a couple of pictures that were taken from West Burt Road, followed by the aerial image showing the total 3 acres for this preliminary and final plat, and then followed by the preliminary plat and the final plat for Revive Community Church subdivision. And the summary of request, once again, is for approval of a preliminary and final plat for Revive Community Church subdivision. And at this time, staff can answer any questions.
Any questions? No? Okay. Mr. Cisneros?
Sorry, I was here a little late, so it's within the city limits?
Yes, yes, sir, correct.
And would they have to, or they're not adding?
There is an addition being requested, which is why the platting is required to for the city to be able to issue any permits.
And will they have to do on-site ponding? Because I don't see anything on here for the outside
Yes, as part of the requirements, the stormwater drainage plan was submitted as
Okay.
along with the plats.
Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
I'd like to make a motion to approve with the condition that the engineering review comments are met.
I second.
I have a motion made by Andrew Arroyos and second by Yolanda Rodriguez to approve with the engineer review comments. All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Any nays? Any abstain? Motion carried. Item number 6, consider and take action on the approval of the replat for Marquez subdivision, being Lot 19, Block 8, Haciendas del Valle, Unit 2, subdivision located at 11611 Valle Lindo Drive, Socorro, Texas. Mr. Botello?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. Item number 6 on the agenda is the Marquez subdivision replat. Some general information on this replat. The property owner is Mr. Sabino R. Marquez, who is also the representative. The lot size for this property is 20,000 square feet. The property is currently zoned R1, which is single-family residential, and the current land use is residential. And so once again, the summary of request is for approval of a replat for Marquez subdivision, and staff recommends approval of the replat for Marquez subdivision with the condition that the engineering review comments are met for this replat. And so on the location map, you'll see that the property is situated along Valle Lindo, very close to Hueletka Drive. The zoning map, the property is outlined in a thick red line showing the R1 zoning designation for the property, followed by a few pictures taken of the property from Valle Lindo Drive. And an aerial image. There is a structure currently on the property. And then followed by the preliminary plat and the final plat for this replat. Both lots would be right at 10,000 square feet. And so once again, the summary of the request is for approval of a replat for Marquez subdivision. And at this time, staff can answer any questions.
I have a question.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Both lots meet the 10,000 minimum? The letters are just too small.
Yes, sir. Right at
Alright.
10,000.
Thank you. I'm ready to make a motion.
Did anybody call in, any of the neighbors that received letters?
No,
Or
for
is this- or
typically for plating, for subdivision applications, we don't notify the residents, only for,
because it's not being rezoned.
correct, yes, sir.
Make a motion to approve?
Any more questions? No?
No questions? No questions?
No, no. This is,
I second.
I have a motion made by Enrique Cisneros and second by Andrew Arroyos to approve. All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Any nays? Any abstain? Motion carried. Item number 7, Planning and Zoning Commissioners Report.
We're talking right now, will we be getting the calendar for next year in January or this?
I apologize, I didn't hear the first part of your question,
The calendar for next year, we'll be getting that
In
in the first
January.
part of January?
the
Okay.
first meeting in January, yes.
And so I think, should we, at this point now, recommend maybe getting on the same calendar a week that the city council is on? So that maybe we can have that same gap between meetings? Because I know that the city council only has, I think, one at the beginning of December.
So the way so the December meeting schedule is different because it's not set. They vote city council votes on the December meeting at their last November meeting. But the way we're scheduled to have our meetings is that planning and zoning has their meetings the first and third Tuesdays of the month, and city council has their meetings the first and third Thursdays of the month. So it's beneficial when we have the off weeks, because then it gives us time to put the P and Z meetings on the agenda for the very next city council meeting. But it doesn't always fall that way. And I would need to double check if that's in the bylaws or in the charter that we're scheduled for that.
Yeah, it's probably in the bylaws, but when we look at the calendar in January, it's something we look at. But yeah, I think it's usually a matter of timing because you're trying to have the meetings here first. So that's because sometimes I think you put it on dual, don't you have something here and then it's already on city council so it can be approved or
So-
in advance?
The items that need to be introduced and then heard at public hearings in
Right.
city council require the 2 meetings at city council.
Right.
And it just doesn't always fall the way we would like it to, because it's the first and third
I think it was-
Tuesdays of the month.
Yeah, I think the reason that I had brought it up is because the third week of December is usually the week before Christmas. Okay. And I think as, even for those that are having items on the agenda that are coming to the meeting, it would be nice to have those last 2 weeks in December, to where we don't commit somebody to be here to hear their items or put them on a calendar. And also likewise for those that have,
Other commitments
Yes.
around the holidays.
And like I
So
said-
is your request more to eliminate the second meeting in December?
right,
Gotcha.
would that be possible to do that? And to carry those agenda items into January? Because sometimes we have like a full agenda and sometimes we just have one. So is it possible to consider to eliminate the second meeting for the planning and zoning? And then put those items in the January calendar?
Yeah, I think probably the way, if you guys are interested in doing that, is in January when we do the calendar. If there's like a specific date, rather than just changing the whole sequence, is that we can say, oh, you know what, and on the December month, we'll have a meeting on this date, and then maybe move up the other one like a week before or something,
Okay.
do like a special meeting. So that way, because sometimes the pressure on, I think planning and zoning too, is the preliminary and final plats that come in, is that we have to take action within 30 days, otherwise it gets automatically approved. And previously, this is like several years ago, that there was a gap here that things got messed. And then a bunch of things got approved, and it was like city council change and planning zoning change before you guys.
Or there wasn't any quorum.
Yeah, and then,
Yeah.
because sometimes I think you guys have seen it, it's like, wait, how did this thing get approved? Well, some things fell in the cracks,
Yeah.
and there was different P and Z personnel as well, and then like, wait, all these things got approved automatically without anybody looking at it. So
But yes,
then-
I'm
yeah.
sorry, not to cut you off, but yeah, we can definitely
Yeah,
address
I
that
think,
at
you know, if
the
it's something that
January
can be
meeting.
considered,
Yeah.
Yes,
then we would like to, I'm sure that we would like to see if we can do that.
definitely.
And I think also like, because like Loren and Mr. Botea, like they can look at also even what comes up. So next year, again, if we're in December and they say, oh, hey, we have no items, we can move it. Or if they're like, oh no, we have to have a hearing, but then you guys can then pick to move it and say, you know what, let's hear it the week before.
Okay.
So we clear out our calendar. So there's a few ways to accommodate what you guys want to do.
Okay, thank you.
No, yeah?
Yeah, I don't have anything.
Okay.
Well, if I may, this past year, I know that we've been talking about that we need to change the bylaws and the ordinances. And so hopefully, like this coming year, it would be nice to have an item that we could all discuss and how we could revive it, reverse it, and see how we could go about it, so we could get some work done instead of just always saying, we'll get that the next.
We'll go ahead and send out the bylaws, the current bylaws, like we can send them out tomorrow. That way everybody has the current ones. And in that email, maybe give everybody 2 weeks to propose any changes that they would like to see to the bylaws so that we can then distribute them with enough time to everyone ahead of that January meeting.
Yeah, even though it's just one, and we could just revise something small, so we could get something done saying that we did do something about it. That'd be good.
And then, Ms. Kimito, there's a third-party outside vendor that's currently looking at all the bylaws right now, or what are they looking at?
So right now, we are in the process of updating our development code. Able City is the consultant who is actively engaged in meeting with us, staff, They have stakeholder meetings scheduled, and we are revisiting all the parts of the code that pertain to development. So that's zoning, subdivision, historic preservation. Everything that touches development is being looked at very carefully so that we can try to address some of the shortcomings in our existing code, capture things that we've seen in our meetings. And I will see when we are able to share whatever preliminary information we have coming out of this process right now with everyone so that we can touch on these things as the process goes on, because it's going to be a long process. So it's going to be a year, but we can touch on these things periodically to get your feedback and not just wait for like in the middle or at the end. No, we'll be able to all contribute to this process throughout the whole endeavor of redoing our development code.
Thank you. Item number 8, Planning and Zoning Department report. Ms. Guimido?
Thank you, Marian. Good evening, Chair and Commissioners. So currently, the city has an opportunity to comment on the Nuevo Hueco Tanks extension project. You can visit the city's main page or the city clerk page, and you will be taken to a link with information regarding where we are on the Nuevo Hueco Tanks extension project. This is extending Nuevo Hueco Tanks from North Loop to Alameda. There are project pages, information regarding the project, and sheets that where we invite the public to comment. We ask that you please submit those either by email or are bringing them into the office, and submit them by December 31st. And another big project that the city is currently undertaking is the Transit Development Plan. You may be aware, as there has been some media around Route 84 and informing the public that Route 84 will end December 31st. The city is preparing outreach information handouts to let everyone know that while this is in fact happening, the El Paso Transit Authority is not eliminating their routes, and that routes 30, 40, and 50 cover most of what was Route 84, and on each of those routes they are two-way. The only area that isn't covered is the stretch of Route 84 that covers the EPCC campus, but the city is working on addressing that separately. With all the updates that are happening around the Transit Development Plan, we welcome everyone to visit our socorroavanzando.com webpage to provide any input, feedback, and sign up for alerts and information as it becomes available. Last week, I was able to participate in the Paso del Norte Trail stakeholder meeting. For those of you who aren't aware, this is a community-driven effort to create a county-wide multi-use trail. So this is, once complete, will be a 75-mile trail connecting the upper portion of El Paso County to the southernmost tip in Tornillo. The city of Socorro is actively engaging in every opportunity to to produce our segment of the trail, and excited to be active members of the stakeholder group. One of the big efforts that they're going to try to work on in the coming year is address some of the concerns regarding signage, a uniform wayfinding system, because one of the complaints they have received is that people get lost on the system, the parts that are done, and highlight just how we can collaborate in every way to share information and see this project become a reality. The other meeting I participated in last week was a TxDOT multimodal workshop, and that's been an ongoing study and has not just encompassed El Paso County, but the 6 surrounding counties that make up the El Paso TxDOT district. That project has been going on for several months now, and involved 30 listening sessions across all of these 6 counties. This will be complete in February, and one of the projects that's highlighted, while no extra funds are attached to it, is this segment of the Paso del Norte Trail through Socorro and San Eli. So that's really exciting to see that at the TxDOT district level, they see the benefits to to the projects that will help enhance the active transportation options in Socorro. So it's really exciting to see that, and hopefully that can lead to additional funding or just more amenities for that segment of the Paso del Norte Trail. And with that, I can answer any questions. Just some highlights from the last couple weeks.
Thank you. Item number 9, consider and take action on the adjournment of this meeting. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second? I have a motion made by Andrew Arroyo, second by Yolanda Rodriguez to adjourn. All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Any nays? Any abstain? Motion carried. Meeting adjourned at 5:52 PM. Thank you.